parts at TireRack.com and is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Canon, by Vivid Seats, St. Joseph Health System, South Bend Orthopedics, by West Bend Insurance, First Source Bank, by IBEW, and by Papa John's. And now, live from O'Rourke's Public House, your host for the Mike Brey Show, Jack Nolan.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Mike Brey Radio Show. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of one of the grittiest hard luck teams in all of the country in basketball. Another great battle last night with Syracuse. It was fun to watch. You just couldn't close it out.
Are we up against Jerry Seinfeld tonight at the Morris? That's probably killing our ratings tonight,
we are.
right?
Yes,
it's
we
killing
are.
our
Look
ratings.
at all these people that came out despite that.
I know.
Of course, our ticket's a little less
We
expensive.
got a diehard group that comes here, and God, yeah, I mean, I love our group, man. We're hanging in there, we're swinging and clawing, but we haven't been able to close one here in league play. We've been able to do it on the road. And, of course, we'll deal with home again next week. In the meantime, we got to go to Tallahassee and play the fifth-ranked team in the country, but that's a great opportunity. That's one of the reasons you play in the league. You know, you get one like that on Saturday, and then all of a sudden you can get on a little run and everything can change. So, I love how we fight and scratch and claw and do it. Can we be better finishing them at home? And again, you don't address that really today or tomorrow. We'll deal with that Monday. We got to go on the road again. But I like how, at Syracuse, at Georgia Tech, we had not only did we have toughness and grit, and we're always going to have that. This group's going to fight and do all that. But we were solid defensively. We didn't gamble. We were smart offensively.
And really level-headed.
Yeah, I thought, the emotional swings, we've been more stable on the road than here, and reacting to an official, reacting to a disappointing play. I showed some clips today. It's all because our guys want it so bad. It's good stuff. They want it bad, but can you keep it more here than doing that? And we've done that better on the road than we've done it here.
Is this a good analogy? It's almost like on the road, it's going to be hostile, so they put on that suit of armor, but at home they don't, because it's home and comfortable, but then been a little bit more apt to react to the negative stuff that happens.
Yeah, and I think also you tend to, and our crowds have been great. I mean, I thank our crowds, man. They have been awesome and hanging in there with us, and they've been great games to watch. They've just, they've been disappointing at the end. But sometimes when you're with your home crowd, and I've seen this other years, you tend to think maybe you can make a heroic play instead of just be in a good position defensively. You don't have to steal it right now, and just block out the right way. You don't have to make a great play. You don't have to force a play offensively. I think we had 5 turnovers for the game, and then we had 2 in the last 4 minutes, which were big ones. And we had 7 for the game, 23 assists. Again, that was about as good as we can be offensively against their zone. We couldn't guard them, and they're very good offensively. But I thought we got off our rails a little, just emotionally, but we haven't done that on the road. And we're going to need to be that way in Tallahassee on Saturday night.
Especially since in ACC play, neither team has won on the opponent's home court in the Notre Florida State series. So that would be a big one.
That would be a big one.
And you're going to get a shot at them here too. You got to play them twice.
Yeah, and they're what are they? They're 9-0 in that building, and we've had great games with them there, but we haven't been able to finish. And they're their usual 10 guys, very athletic, and really going to guard the heck out of you.
You've heard it. I certainly get some of the emails and whatnot. When you struggle, when you lose, or when, like last night, you had trouble defending Syracuse, people wonder, well, what do they work on in practice? Well, I went to your practice today, and it was 2 things, working on defending, working on competing.
Yeah, I thought we needed to compete a little bit today, and sometimes after you have a tough loss, you can tend to maybe feel sorry for yourself a little bit. So the best thing to do is to get back and compete and go at it a little.
And you had a little penalty box, too.
Yeah, we did have a little penalty box today. Yeah, I thought it was a day we just needed to kind of, clear the air a little and blow off some steam, and tomorrow we can get into more of a Florida State preparation, since we haven't seen them and it's our first encounter with them. But we'll fight and swing and scratch and claw, and we'll do that. We're gonna keep putting ourselves in position. I just think it's going to be game situations every league game we play. It's amazing how they've come down to the wire. And on the road, we've handled it pretty good. At home, we've not handled it very well at all.
And certainly, when you talk about getting ready for the opponent, but you need to play your kind of basketball, which this team is doing. You continue to lead the country by a wide margin in assist to turnover. You lead the ACC conference in assists and in fewest turnovers. So you're playing your game. It's just a matter, if you play at your high level, you're going to have success. If you cut down on the mistakes and what you want to do, in some ways it doesn't really matter what the other side's doing. And you've been defending pretty well. Syracuse is pretty good. It's just at times it's that consistent level of constant defense, which, like at Georgia Tech, I thought you did the whole game.
No, correct. I mean, our offensive numbers, I'd like to see our field goal percentage get up there, and it's creeped up a little bit, but we take care of the ball. We share the ball.
You're second in ACC play in scoring in the whole league.
We're kind of maxing out our offensive stuff for the most part. It's a matter of, again, defending in game situations without gambling and being solid. And I still think we have to keep teaching that and emphasizing that and watching that. Again, because we've done it, but we've not done it enough.
John Mooney is continuing to have one of the best seasons of your tenure, one of the best seasons of any Notre Dame player. Last night he recorded his 12th straight double-double. That breaks Luke Herringode's school record of 11. It's the 15th of this season, 36th of his career. He had 21 points, 13 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, a career-high 6 assists with a block and a steal. There's literally not anything he doesn't do for you, and yet as a captain and a leader, probably needs to do even a little bit more to help close out some of these games.
It's an amazing. I'm very proud of the player he's become, through hard work and concentration, and I think he's even surprised himself sometimes with what he's doing. But I think it's very fitting that he is our leader in double doubles, and we know how great Luke Herringode was for us. But is that Nate's behind the back pass coming up?
Yes.
They froze it.
It froze. It was such an incredible play, the video recorder couldn't let it go through.
I don't know. I mean,
we'll run it again.
We've created a monster with Nate Laszewski. We'll talk about him later, behind the back passes. But no, for Johnny, it's great, and he's what he has to do physically night in and night out is amazingly demanding. He's in unbelievable shape. There's the toughness about him, and I feel for him because at times he's gotten frustrated at the end here in some of our home games because he's just trying so hard sometimes. And so I'm proud of him, and I think he has a really bright future professionally somewhere. You just don't put up numbers like that night in and night out against front lines in the ACC without doing it. There's the play, huh? Yeah, we'll deal with it later.
It's breaking, folks. We do play video both on our TV feed of this radio show and here on O'Rourke's. And Nate's behind the back pass.
Well, he wasn't uptight. He wasn't uptight last night.
No, he was not at all. By the way, John Mooney, 35 of his double-doubles are over the last 2 seasons. That leads the nation. Talk about toughness. Another guy who, very talented, TJ Gibbs. And he struggled a bit last year, so he gets some heat. And I'm not sure people fully can embrace what he's done. He's the leading active scorer in the entire ACC. He now has 1,390 points. Hard to score 1,390 points. When you expect all of your team's players to make every shot. But that's quite an accomplishment. But what I really loved about last night is he was sick as a dog. He didn't practice Monday, got through 10 minutes, 15 minutes Tuesday, had to leave right before the game began last night to go to the locker room to throw up. And he comes out and he hits 2 threes. And you could see every time the play stopped, he was stopping and in agony and just trying to call up every ounce of energy that he had to try to help you win the game. And he ended up with 13 points. And you know, it happens. It's not an excuse, but maybe with a healthy TJ, you win the game.
Well, he was hurt. You know, talk about timing. That wasn't the best of timing to have him hurting. And he's such a warrior. I mean, he is really a tough guy. And, you know, he battled through it. He was not able to go today. We're still trying to get fluids in him. But I think by Saturday night at 8, he'll be full speed. But
there's his big two threes early.
He got us off to a great start. You know, he's been great with the basketball. He's doing that a little bit more, hitting the mid-range shot. Starting in Atlanta, I thought he started to do that. But, you know, he's a warrior. He's a battler. Last year he had a lot of young players to play with once Rex went down, and I think he took the brunt of it. And I always felt for him. And, you know, I think this year he's having a great senior year, individually as statistically. But TJ's no different than Johnny or Rex. They want to win more. They're seniors, and they want to win more, and they want to finish strong. And that's why you love coaching guys like that.
Your communication director, Laszewski, put together some great numbers on TJ today, which really show how well he's playing in ACC conference games this year. He's second in field goal percentage, 56%. Second in free throw percentage, behind the nation's leader, 88%. Joe Girard's leading the nation. Mm-hmm. And he's second in three-point field goal percentage at 53%. Since the 96-97 season, only Shane Battier and Al Thornton have ever finished an ACC regular season with 50, 80 percentages in those categories.
Yeah, those are amazing numbers. And the NBA, when they do their scouting, you know, they talk about guys like that, or talk about guys in the NBA that's staggering, you know. And now I think having Rex back, another good playmaker and passer, and a much improved sophomore class passing the basketball, Prentice, Nate, Dane, Johnny being a better passer, they find him, and he's really settled in. And you know, we find the open guy. Our numbers say that. I still think our percentages can creep up because we've got some guys that are going to shoot it better than they are now, and we're counting on that. Because when we can score it, then you're going to always, you know, be in a chance. But you know, again, for TJ, let's get him healthy. He's had an amazing career for us. He battled, you know, like Johnny Mooney and him are amazing physical specimens. These are guys that are playing almost the whole game, you know, and it's hard to really get them a long rest, and they come back the next day and they're ready to practice, and they're diving on the floor, and they're getting knocked down, and they're getting back up. I mean, physically, the demand on both of their bodies is really a high level, and they just keep answering the bell. There's a great toughness about TJ.
And there's a great toughness about Rex Pfluger. He can't play the whole game, but last night, he looked like he was in a car wreck. You know, the leg got banged again. He had cotton in his nose because he took a shot to the head, and yet he had 8 points. He had 2 big threes for you. He had 6 assists and a blocked shot. And you hear the question, why does Rex play so much? So I looked at the ACC overall stats for this season. He's 10th in the league in assists, 13th in steals, 3rd in assists to turnovers. He's approaching 700 points, 400 rebounds, 300 assists, and 150 steals in his Notre Dame career. Only Chris Thomas, David Graves, and Torrey Jackson have ever reached those plateaus in combination. That's why he's playing for you. He may not light it up offensively, but he really helps you function better as a team.
He does. He has settled into, he knows who he is with this team. He's not really hunting his shot, but is he facilitating, finding people? I think it's one of the reasons TJ Gibbs is shooting the ball so well. Prentice Hub is shooting the ball well. You know, Rex Pfluger is a great passer. There's a reason we have him take the ball out of bounds under, and he's made some thread-the-needle plays there. And then on the defensive end, he's a fighter. You said it last night. He came to the bench. He had cotton in his nose. He's bleeding on his knee. You know, he got hit in the back of the head. I mean, the guy is just fighting all the time and wants it really bad. And sometimes have gotten a little frustrated. And I told him, I said, just fight through that and get on to the next play. But it's all good stuff. They want it bad. But I'm thrilled that he came back. He's going to get a graduate degree in the Mendoza School. He's knocking that dead and having a great experience. And he's a warrior, man. And he's won games for us at the buzzer. He tips. You know, he's just around the ball all the time. And then sometimes, you know, he's not in there, and we play a little differently. But there's an experience there and a toughness about him, and and I've had a lot of favorite guys come through that I've coached. He's really a neat young man to be around.
It's generally accepted that the greatest home court advantage in sports is basketball. And yet, in the ACC play this year, road teams are winning 52.5% of the time. Even with last night's games where 3 of the home teams won, the road teams are 31-28. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, this is an interesting trend that I think has been coming a little bit the last couple years. Take us, for example. Haven't won a home game. We've won 2 on the road. The psychological advantage sometimes is really to be the road team. You mentioned it earlier. First of all, you're loose. You don't have any of your friends and family for the most part in the stands. You have to circle the wagons because the whole crowd is going to be on you. You're a little bit more together group. You're not going to have a crowd cheering for you. Maybe you don't get as heroic, and when you are home, you have pressure on you to deliver at home because you're supposed to. And I think a team can get tied up in knots, and I would say maybe we did a couple possessions under 4 minutes against the zone. So it's the ACC numbers are amazing, really. They're 31-28 road teams right now, and I don't think it's ever been that high. So I'm not sure what home court means anymore. I mean, for us, it hadn't meant anything yet, but it's a trend I think you see in college basketball. People going into buildings, shooting it. You shoot it more loose because you got nothing to lose, and you really have each other's back because you're the only ones in the whole building that really have each other, except for some family behind the bench. And there could be really a psychological advantage to being on the road some more now.
And I even think it extends to officiating. Players and fans alike are the same in this way. Your team or you never commit a foul, and the other team commits all the fouls. And I think on the road, you expect to get what you consider to be bad calls. But at home,
that's a good point. That's a great point.
You expect everything to go your way. So when it doesn't, you're more likely to react in a negative way and let it, or at the very least, let it bother you.
Oh, no question. And, you can also hear, and every home crowd does this. This is not critical of our home crowd. I mean, you can hear the collective groan sometimes when, they just missed a free throw.
Or a turnover.
And your crowd, and your guys kind of feel that a little bit sometimes. It's really an amazing dynamic doing this for 30 years and being on both sides of it. And, we have said, we made Georgia Tech and Syracuse tight at home when we won in those buildings. Yes. People have made us tight at home. Yep. And can we make Florida State a little tight at home? They've never lost. That's what we're going to talk about throughout the game and in our preparation. But then how do you stay loose when you're in your building and playing? There's a psychology to it that if I had the answer to it, I'd be selling tapes, but I don't.
Well, you apparently and every coach in the ACC.
How about the NFL, all the road teams that how tight were the Ravens in that game?
Very tight.
Oh, they were tight as a drum. And Tennessee comes in, we got nothing to lose. That's really how you go. I'll tell you what, that's how we're going to Tallahassee.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. As we wrap up this segment, I just want to read some names here. Sid Catlett, Bob Whitmore, Adrian Dantley, Jaron Grant, Rod Blanis, Mike Brey. These are all guys who played for and in some cases coached for Morgan Wootten, who passed away earlier this week. And I know he was just such a tremendous influence, not just on you, but really on anybody who ever met him.
Well, Blanis and Brey, those last two, were crummy players. The first couple guys you mentioned could really play. Yeah. And tell Rod I said that, by the way.
I think he's listening.
No, it was kind of a weird day for me yesterday, because in a lot of ways, Morgan was another father to me. Coach Wootten was another father to me. I was around him from 10 years old at his basketball camp. I played for him in high school. I coached with him. He's had such an impact on me. I was so fortunate to be around what I call the ultimate educator, the ultimate guy who made young people feel better about themselves, knew all about a young person's self-esteem and how to help it. And, I draw on those experiences every day. Now, he was ill, really ill the last couple of months, but getting the word, and thinking about yesterday on game day was a little unusual. And obviously there's some great articles out there on him. I would tell everybody to keep an eye out. There's a documentary out that they did a couple years ago that my feeling is it'll get to ESPN now that he's passed. Derek Wittenberg was the point person on it, but he was just one of the good guys and, one of the great coaches, but he was a teacher and he could connect with people. And I was amazingly fortunate to be around him. And Morgan Wootten has meant a lot to Notre Dame basketball long before I got here, long before my 20 years, Dantley, Catlett, Whitmore. And he was a Notre Dame fan before I got here. Morgan's a Catholic from Washington, D.C. He loved watching Notre Dame football growing up. He was a high school football coach. So we're going to miss him. There's going to be quite a celebration of his life on Monday. It's hard for me to get there, but Coach Balanis, Rod, will represent us there on Monday.
Mike, John Wooden once told me that if World War II had not started and he hadn't been called to serve his country, he never would have left South Bend Central High School. Morgan Wootten had numerous opportunities to go to major colleges as the head coach, including NC State, and he never did.
Never did. I mean, I think there were times Maryland was his alma mater, and he was intrigued about – he was a Washingtonian. He never left D.C., so I could have seen him taking the Maryland job, but he knew he had a place as an educator in the high school setting. And his family was young at the time, and, I think he didn't want to uproot them, and he found his niche, and, man, was he really, really good at it. I don't know if there was I'm not sure there was a more respected man in basketball than Morgan Wootten. I don't care at any level, any coach. I mean, just the way he did things and the way he handled people, and again, to be around him from age 10 throughout, I was just so fortunate.
We will be back with our audience questions for Coach Mike Brey right after this timeout. It's the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
There's no doubt education costs have become overwhelming and continue to spike. Unless you choose to earn while you learn as an apprentice with the electrical workers of Local 153. Instead of spending $20,000 a year, often leaving school with a debt, you'll earn an annual package worth over $70,000 while you earn your associate's degree and the skills to be an IBEW electrician. Contact the South Bend Electrical Apprentice Training Center at JATC153.com and compare. Huge cost with no guarantee of a job versus earning $280,000 and training for the future.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss your chance to experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell tickets to any event. Home games, on the road, even sold out games, no problem. And every transaction is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats lets you see more and sit closer all season long. Support the Fighting Irish with tickets from the official ticket marketplace, Vivid Seats. Available now at vividseats.com/UND.
You know, a lot of banking apps let you do the same things, like check your balance in your PJs, deposit checks during your workout, and transfer funds from, well, anywhere. But because we're a trusted bank in the neighborhood, the First Source app comes with a walk-in option, so you can talk face-to-face, not just face-to-phone. First Source Bank.
Member FDIC. Download the First Source app on the App Store or Google Play.
At St. Joseph Health System, every hand held, every story told, every tear shed, smile shared, and spirit lifted stays in our hearts forever. We're blessed because every day we get to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, visit sjmed.com. St. Joseph Health System. We are called to care for you.
We are back here on the Mike Brey Radio Show. Folks, experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell your tickets. Vivid Seats helps you see more and sit closer all season long at vividseats.com/UND. And as a person who sometimes has been accused of being a little tight with a buck, sometimes you can get great deals and get a really good seat for below market value or ticket value.
That is the scouting report
seats.
On you. That
yes,
is the scouting report.
And it's very, very accurate. There's no question about that. Katie Williams is here again. Made the trip up from Carmel. She would like to know, when will Delaware come to South Bend to play the Irish?
You know, they owe us a game, and we couldn't work it out this year. So, you know, possibly next year we'll get old Coach Inglesby back in town, and Torian Jones is on his staff, and who else is on his staff? Pat Rogers is on his staff as well. They're having a very solid year. Yeah. You know, they're about 500 in the league. They got off to a great start. They love them in Delaware as we loved him here.
Wasn't that the best start in Delaware
history?
Best
start in Delaware history.
Yeah.
He broke my stretch. He went 9-0. We were 8-0.
How dare he?
Can you believe that? And but he's so gifted. He's got it. He's just a bright young coach, and sky's the limit for Martin Inglesby.
Katie's dad is here, and that's how the questions are submitted.
Yeah,
Katie's dad.
Katie's dad.
But this isn't really
Coach.
a question.
I call him Coach.
Well, he is complimenting you and your staff. Says they need to be complimented on how you get your team to play after such tough losses, how hard you get your team to play after tough losses.
I appreciate that.
They come to play and consistently play hard.
Well, that's nice of him. And again, we've got great guys, man. And you know, our guys really love each other, and I love them. And now, you know, sometimes it's tough love and firm love, but you know, they're going to keep swinging. I can guarantee, you know, that's what you're going to see. And I have a feeling it's going to be another electric atmosphere in Tallahassee. And let's finish it like we did in the Carrier Dome and at Georgia Tech. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Make me lose my voice.
Yes, make me lose. Yes,
that
exactly.
Would be good.
That would be good, right?
If I'm losing my
You're
voice,
losing your voice over the
heck of a game.
Over the
yes.
tomahawk chop stuff, right?
Landon Kaufman is here from Etna Green. Coach, what is your opinion of the new flop rule this year?
I think that's good. I think it's been a deterrent a little bit. You know, guys kicking out on the shot to try and draw it. T.J. Gibbs was a big violator of that. We had to cure him of that. Now he just shoots it and it goes in instead of worrying about drawing a foul, and then faking the charge. You know, I think it's good because it's a little bit of a deterrent, and it keeps guys from just falling over, especially in the block charge thing, just kind of, especially when you're playing post defense, kind of going back. It's good. It's probably calming some people down from, you know, faking it.
Cody Ousley's here from Bourbon, Indiana. Coach, Notre Dame hasn't played in an early season away from home tournament since the Maui Invitational. Are there any plans for next season?
They are. We'll be in Brooklyn. We'll be at the Legends Classic in Brooklyn. And over there will be Vanderbilt, USC, and I can't remember the fourth team. So we'll be back in Barclays. We have a pretty good record in Barclays. We like Barclays. So we'll be back in Barclays the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure who's playing who, though, but we're going back. And then we're back in Maui in 21. 21, we're back in Maui, right? Yeah. We're in Maui in 21.
Doug Buell's here from Michigan City. Coach, you have some real warriors on this team, but even warriors need rest. Have you changed your practices any to get them some rest?
Yeah, we're you know, that's a great question, and Doug knows us better than anybody, man. He's one of our diehards, him and his bride. They're here all the time. We do need to be smart the day after games with, you know, all our guys, but especially Hub, Rex, Mooney, and TJ. You know, now the rest of them, you know, maybe aren't logging as heavy a minutes night in and night out, but we've tried to be. We did more today physically than we usually do after a game, but we needed to. Yeah. Now tomorrow, we may not do a whole lot physically, so when we wake up Saturday morning in Tallahassee, our bodies are fresh. You know, I'm just trying to get our bodies fresh on game day, because today was practice number 70. You know, the routine, you got to keep it fresh and change it up a little bit.
Jerry Liss, as always, from South Bend, is here tonight, and you know, he's got his finger on the pulse of the team. It's almost like he was at practice today. We've talked about this a little bit, but he would like to know, how do you prepare your coaches and players to control their emotions during a game?
No, that's a key point. I think we've been rattled in our building some, you know, with reacting to maybe a call or a non-call. I've tried to be good. I guess I had the one outburst against Toledo, which was probably,
I think it worked out,
which was well deserved. But you know, I try not to really get distracted by officials, and our assistants for the most part are good. They're not.
You have to talk a little bit because Coach Boeheim talked a lot last night.
Yeah, he does.
You got to give him a different point of view.
Every now and then he does. I just think if you get if I'm on them all the time, then it's almost like a green light for our players to get caught up in that. But we do, and that Jerry's right, we do have to be better with our emotions in our building, you know, and not react to officiating or disappointing plays. There's an area of growth. We addressed that some today. We'll reinforce it again tomorrow.
Folks, as you know, Tire Rack is the presenting sponsor of the Mike Brey Radio Show. And like the show, Tire Rack knows a thing or two about passion and performance. Their on-site test track is their practice court, and they've got a playbook that includes precisely what you need. Get your tires right at TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. We have two more audience questions, but they both concern Nate. So let's take another break and get Nate Laszewski up here. It's the Mike Brey Radio Show, live from O'Rourke's Public House, presented by the experts at TireRack.com.
We'll keep your car running, we'll keep your motor humming. Shinaki Automotive Repair. Personal service, professional results. Your family-owned Napa Auto Center. Nationwide warranties, the best in the business. See Sure Critic Facebook or ShinakiAuto.com. Shinaki Automotive Repair. Personal service, professional results.
Join us weekdays at 5 for Sports Beat with Darren Pritchett, ND Insider Eric Hansen, and Sean Stiers.
Rover Jeremiah Wusu-Koromoa against Iowa State, 9 tackles, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Is he the centerpiece of the 2020 defense?
He is a game changer now. He's a game wrecker, as Brian Kelly likes to call him. He's elevated from a pretty good player, I think, to that status.
Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat, only on WSBT.
When it comes to your bathroom, the shortest distance between outdated and updated is a trip to the Home Depot's Days of Doing bath event. Like vanities up to 40% off, faucets from only $49, plus a wide selection of online bath products. Can't make the trip? We can deliver. It's a good time to be a doer and a saver. Now at the Home Depot, how doers get more done. Limited time only. Event end dates vary by store. See store for details.
This is a cow whose milk became everyone's favorite cheese at the craft fair. But cheese only lasts so long. The impression a small business makes needs to last much longer. And now Vistaprint is introducing free shipping on all business cards in any quantity. Choose from hundreds of fresh designs tailored to your type of company, or upload your own. The choice is yours. The time is now. For limited time only, get free shipping on all business cards in any quantity with promo code 4499. That's promo code 4499 at Vistaprint.com. Vistaprint. Own the now.
Dave here. Join the millions of Americans switching to a credit union. Move your money to Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. They report to you, the member owner, not stockholders. They're also personally involved in your community, and they provide a living wage to all employees. Plus, take them anywhere with their mobile app and access thousands of locations nationwide through their shared branching network. Join today at NotreDameFCU.com, insured by the NCUA.
We are back at the Mike Brey Radio Show. Please welcome tonight's special guest, 6'10", sophomore forward out of Jupiter, Florida, Nate Laszewski. Nate, thanks for making the time for us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Nate had one of his best games all season last night, 11 points, 5 rebounds, a career-high 3 assists. So 2 of your big guys set their career highs for assists, including that nifty behind the back number. And he also had a block shot. His numbers are up this year, particularly his rebounding. He's rebounding over 5 a game, up from 3.9 last year. Brandon Liss will start off this segment. Coach, how has Nate improved this season compared to last season?
Well, I think, you're seeing it. You mentioned it. You're seeing it first in the rebounding side of it. And he's always been a really alert defender and great team defender. Probably leads us in charges taken. He got one last night. He comes over and blocks shots. But I think he's rebounding in traffic. He feels comfortable and strong enough to do that. And I think he's really starting to feel where to get his stuff offensively for us. And last night against that zone, he's stepping up in gaps and ready to make shots for us, and we want him to do that. But, for a young guy in our program, I like how he's developing. I mentioned those 3 sophomores and how they can change us over the next 8 weeks because they probably have the biggest upside as they get better, and he certainly can do that. And it is in the process of that right now.
Austin Gall from Wakarusa is here. Coach, Nate is known as a shooter. What part of his game has improved the most this year in that area?
Well, I think the rebounding part of it is where you're seeing it now. I mean, he is up there in rebounding in traffic against great athletic ability in this league, and on both ends, the offensive board, he's getting his hands on stuff. He's rebounding in traffic defensively. He has gotten a couple in the last month where I thought it was Johnny, and that's a compliment. I go up and there's traffic, and I say, wow, that was Nate. And I think he's rebounding at that athletic level now, and the man can get rolling from outside, and his numbers are creeping up as far as a shooter, and we want him to shoot it. We ran that out of bounds play for him. There was no second thought, and we'll do it again if it comes up.
You're talking about the Toledo game when he sent it into overtime and saved your cookies in that game a little bit, getting you to the overtime so that you could win it. And you keep talking about the sophomore class, and you should. It's the highest ranked class from recruiting rankings, if you put a lot of stock in that you have had. And Nate, you had lots of offers. I'm just going to mention some of them. I think folks have heard of these schools: Arizona, Georgetown, Georgia Tech, Indiana, North Carolina, Texas, Villanova, Virginia, Wake Forest, Stanford. Your dad's alma mater, that's always a pull, and your sister's school, Wisconsin. So what made you choose Notre Dame?
I think, I took 3 visits here. And even after the first visit, I just loved what I saw. Meeting Coach Brey, Coach Bolanis, all of them, Coach Humphreys. I just had a great connection with all of them. So that's kind of what brought me here.
You certainly come from a basketball family. Your dad played 86 games at center for Wisconsin between 82 and 86. He was a backup, but he scored 208 points, had 46 assists, so maybe that's where you learned your passing. 133 rebounds in his career. What influence did he have on your basketball career?
He pretty much taught me everything I know from a young age. He never really pushed me into basketball. He kind of let me find my own way. But when I kind of wanted to pursue it, he was there to support me the whole way. So.
Now, your sister, Abby, is now starting at forward for Wisconsin, averaging 11.1 points, 6.7 rebounds, both second on the team this year. She has not taken a 3, but she leads the Badgers in field goal percentage, making 53% of her shots, and she's also leads the team in block shots with 30 in 19 games. Mm-hmm. So what are your backyard one-on-one games like with your sister?
They don't happen too much anymore, but when you're younger, they're pretty competitive for sure. And, she's having a great year. I think she's moved into the top 10 for blocks all time at Wisconsin, women's basketball. So I'm really happy for her.
How seriously did you think about Wisconsin?
Obviously, I looked at it. I've got a lot of family there that lives there, my grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles. But, when I came down to it and what I wanted, Notre Dame was the place for me.
And you've lived a lot of places. Some people don't get to travel these many places. You lived in Belgium, Australia, Connecticut, now Florida. How has living in different countries and different areas of this country impacted you?
I think it's just given me a new, different perspective. Having to go to different places, make new friends, meet new people. It's just given me a great appreciation of all the different cultures that there are out there.
Now, I understand that for 8 years, you played jazz, alto, saxophone. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you gave it up?
I did, yeah.
If we were to bring one over from the band one day at the end of practice, could you jump right in?
It probably wouldn't sound too good, but I'd have something. Yeah, I'd be able to do something.
Could you do the national anthem next Wednesday?
No, my dad would want me to do that.
Your senior year. Senior year.
Well, today, and you're fortunate, I got it too late to work it into the show, but I have obtained videotape of you playing the saxophone.
Tweet that out, baby.
So
his teammates need to see that.
we may well have to. Did you think you were good at it?
I thought it was pretty decent, but looking back at it, I have no idea. Yeah, but who knows?
What attracted you to that?
Yeah, I played the piano originally when I was younger, and then I kind of got into wanted to try out for the band, and that was one of the instruments I thought was the coolest one, so that's why I started playing.
I mean, in all honesty, I wish I had musical talent because it's a wonderful thing for your whole. I took piano lessons for 2 weeks, got in the way of baseball practice. See how good baseball practice did for me.
So are you kind of a jazz guy?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely more jazz. Yeah, right. Exactly.
We'll crank some up on the
plane.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or put some on the bus.
Yeah,
I would love to have some on the bus.
Switch it up.
When we land tomorrow, make sure you get to tell Coach Bolanos we're voting. We're taking that station off that we usually have on. We're going jazz. I got it.
Yeah, I don't know about everybody else.
We're going a little jazz.
I may Google tonight.
Yeah,
jazz stations in Tallahassee. I got to write
there
that
isn't
down.
any. They may not.
I know there's a lot of country
there's
stations.
17 country stations.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a jazz station there. Yeah, your dad, of course, sent me the video today.
Yeah.
Here's his quote. I am still upset he quit. He was awesome.
I mean, yeah, he'll tell me that every chance he gets.
So that's building it up. How have you adjusted? What's it like to play in the ACC?
I mean, it's been a pretty big adjustment. It was great being able to play a lot last year, even though we're missing Rex. But having guys back this year, it's just been a great experience. So.
And being in pressure situations, and I've seen this a lot since I've been here, through struggles. And the frustrating thing about this year is you have played well enough to win every game you played, every single one. But how do you think that makes you better as you get more experience?
I think, just staying together. We know we're right there. We just got to do a few more things to get the job done. So,
sophomores aren't old. Juniors and seniors are old, and that's what you have kind of built it on. And you've got 3 very good old guys right now. But are you really kind of chomping at the bit about when these guys get old?
Well, when we signed this group, I was always excited. And I'll include Robbie as he's rehabbing. We were always excited to see how they would develop. They were going to be 4-year guys, or in Robbie's case, 5 or 6, and and they were going to just like a fine wine get better with us with time. And I think what I've always tried to remind myself and our staff is to be patient with them. These are not one and done. These were not one and done guys. These are guys that have been kind of guys we get in our program that just are going to get better with time. And I think we've seen that from our 3 sophomores as even now, now I'm excited to see where the 3 sophomores are in a month with 7-8 more games under their belt, because they're coming. You can feel them coming.
And I think when you look at it, I think Virginia's done this. I think you can honestly say that Virginia didn't have superstars last year. They had talented guys who got old. And I almost think if you had to choose, it's a better bet to build a team of old, talented guys than one-and-dones, because one-and-dones seem to be hit or miss. Now, if you got 3 or 4, but even John Calipari has had some issues with full classes of one-and-dones where they haven't reached the heights that people maybe expected.
Well, it's been really how we built the culture with guys growing up. I mean, you could argue, I guess, 2011 and 2015 were our 2 best teams. They were men. Yeah. They were a group of men who had played together a while, seniors and juniors who knew each other. And as this group grows old, I think we're going to be making some comparisons to 15 and 11 with this class.
Now, I know another reason you came here was the academics, and you last year, of course, was first year of studies, but you have entered the Mendoza College of Business. Have you picked yet what you're going to focus on?
I haven't yet, but I'll have to do that in about a month.
What is the first year in Mendoza like?
Pretty brutal, to be honest. Luckily, me, Robbie, and Dane were able to start earlier. We were able to get classes done in our freshman year, so that put us a little ahead of speed, which has been really helpful.
So do you get a taste of basically all aspects of business and then decide to pick one to major in? What are you leaning? What interests you right now?
Probably either marketing or management consulting. So those are the two that I'm looking at the most.
And I've heard from people that do that can be a lot of fun and lucrative. Two of the most important things when you're going to get a job after your basketball career is over. Well, when you get on this show, you get to run the fast break and have some fun with your teammates. So we're going to do that right after this timeout. It's the Mike Brey Radio Show, presented by the experts at TireRack.com.
The most valuable things are also the hardest to get. But the knowledge and experience of an independent insurance agent can help you determine the best coverage to protect those things that you can't afford to lose. And if your business is covered by a West Bend insurance policy, one bad break does not have to be the end, because the worst brings out our best. West Bend. Visit thesilverlining.com.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy to be smart about your tires. Use our test results and consumer reviews to find the best tire for your car. Use our comparison tools to choose the right tires for you. Then have them shipped and installed fast. TireRack.com, official tire experts of Notre Dame basketball.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
Is life throwing you hard knocks?
Okay, it's time to go to work.
You may be injured or just worn down. Whether it's Notre Dame football, work, or just everyday life, South Bend Orthopedics believes everyone should be treated as if they are on the same team. Schedule an appointment with South Bend Orthopedics today. Call 574-247-9441. Let us get you back in the game.
It doesn't take a focus group to name a Papa John's pizza with 5 of our best meats. Just take a ginormous bite and blurt out the first thing you think of. Meats! With an S. Meats, plural. Used in a sentence, it would be like, holy cow, that's a lot of meats. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go enjoy the meats of my labor. Try large meats or works for just $12, only at Papa John's. Not valid with other discounts. Fees and taxes extra. Prices may vary.
We're back on the Mike Brey Radio Show. Like a game. It's going to have 2 halves. The first half is more general questions. First car you ever drove?
Probably a Ford Expedition.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Drake.
Who is your role model?
Both my parents.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
Well, I mean, I was going to say that I played musical instruments, but now everyone knows. Yeah.
It's out. All right. I've got to come up with something else.
Yeah.
Favorite NBA player?
Chandler Parsons.
Favorite thing to do when relaxing?
Just hang out with friends.
Favorite sport to play other than basketball?
Soccer.
Favorite part of practice?
Kills.
Worst part of practice?
Stretch.
Best part of your game?
Shooting.
Part of your game you need to work on?
I think creating off the dribble a little bit.
This is going to be a tough question for you because you've been a lot of places. City or place in the world you would like to visit?
Probably somewhere either in Italy or Spain. It's one of those two, yeah.
They're both great places to visit. I'm going to have to add an aspect to this question. Which is better, a highlight film dunk, blocking a key shot, grabbing a big rebound, or a great behind-the-back assist?
Great behind-the-back assist.
All right, we're going to take a break and finish this up right after this timeout.
Join us weekdays at 5 for Sports Beat with Darren Pritchett, ND Insider Eric Hansen, and Sean Stiers.
Rover Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah against Iowa State, 9 tackles, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Is he the centerpiece of the 2020 defense?
He is a game changer now. He's a game wrecker, as Brian Kelly likes to call him. He's elevated from a pretty good player, I think, to that status.
Budweiser's Weekday Sports Beat, only on WSBT.
Sports boats, runabouts, pontoon boats, and personal watercrafts.
Even though it's January, it's time to think summer at the 2020 Michiana Boat and Sports Show at the Century Center in South Bend.
Deck boats, fishing boats, ski boats, wakeboard, and surf boats, plus trucks and ATVs, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, January 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Get ready for 3 big days and one huge event, the Michiana Boat and Sports Show, with over 50,000 square feet of everything you can imagine for fishing, boating, and outdoor sports. There'll be fishing seminars and guest speakers including Anthony Buss, Carrie Fry, and Remington Barkley. Plus, new this year, indoor archery tag for children and adults.
Don't miss the 2020 Michiana Boat and Sports Show, January 24th, 25th, and 26th. 3 days of fun for the whole family. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Century Center in South Bend.
Entry fee is just $8. Kids ages 13 and under are free. For more details, visit Michiana-Boatshow.com. Michiana-Boatshow.com.
Get ready for Hockey Night in South Bend. Compton Family Ice Arena has been rocking this season, and you only have 6 more chances to experience the excitement. Notre Dame hosts Wisconsin on January 24th and 25th. Friday's game is 90s night. Wear your best 90s attire for the chance to win prizes. And New York Islanders and New York Yankees organist Paul Cartier will perform at both games. The excitement continues into February with 2 games against Minnesota. Celebrate Valentine's Day at the Compton and save $5 on mezzanine club level seats, which include access to purchase beer and wine or purchase 4 bleacher seats for $40. February 15th is the annual Irish Wear Green game, and fans will receive a green t-shirt and green pom-poms. Notre Dame closes out the regular season on February 28th and 29th versus Michigan State. At Friday's game, purchase 4 bleacher seats for just $40. Chicago Blackhawks national anthem singer Jim Cornelison will perform on February 29th as part of the Hockey Senior Night festivities.
It's a hockey night in South Bend.
Tickets are still available for all remaining home games. Visit UND.com/buy tickets or call 833-ND-IRISH.
Nate Laszewski and the Fast Break continue here on the Mike Brey Radio Show, and it begins with a question about Coach Brey. One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice.
Stay solid.
Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey.
Coach Balanis.
Yep, see, we're back to that. That's the first time this year that's been Coach Balanis. Just a comment or two about each of the assistants on the staff. Scott Martin.
Creative.
Ryan Ayers.
Funny.
Ryan Humphrey.
I gotta say hilarious, yeah.
Harold Swanigan.
Just one of the best guys out there, probably.
You haven't made it through the entire league on the road yet, but so far, toughest place to play in the ACC?
Probably Virginia.
Player on the team most like you?
I'd probably say Mooney.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
Probably Cormac, C-Mac. See, he has so many different ones. So.
Player on the team who will surprise fans before this season is over?
Dane.
Best player to room with on the road?
Robbie.
Toughest Notre Dame player to guard?
Mooney.
Best defender on the team?
Probably Prentice.
Best leaper on the team?
Probably Jawan.
Best dunker on the team?
Jawan.
Worst dunker on the team?
Mooney.
Ooh. Best dresser on the team?
Myself.
Worst dresser on the team?
Mooney.
Best singer on the team?
Cormac.
Worst singer on the team?
Probably myself.
Best comedian on the team?
Cormac.
Guy who thinks he's funny, but he's really not.
TJ.
Free throw shooting competition. Who wins, you or Coach Brey?
I'll take myself.
All right.
I will too. I take that.
Absolutely. Nate, great job. Thank you. Good luck the rest of the
Thank
year.
you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap
Get
things
your
up
food.
on this edition of the Mike Brey Radio Show right after this timeout.
There are countless not very smart things you can do in your car. Painting your body green in support of Notre Dame basketball while driving. Painting your friend's body. Pretty much any kind of body painting while driving. But with TireRack.com, it's easy. Dame basketball.
There's no doubt education costs have become overwhelming and continue to spike. Unless you choose to earn while you learn as an apprentice with the electrical workers of Local 153. Instead of spending $20,000 a year, often leaving school with a debt, you'll earn an annual package worth over $70,000 while you earn your associate's degree and the skills to be an IBEW electrician. Contact the South Bend Electrical Apprentice Training Center at JATC153.com and compare. Huge cost with no guarantee of a job versus earning $280,000 and trained for the future.
At St. Joseph Health System, every hand held, every story told, every tear shed, smile shared, and spirit lifted stays in our hearts forever. We're blessed because every day we get to make a difference in people's lives. To learn more, visit sjmed.com. St. Joseph Health System. We are called to care for you.
Fighting Irish fans, don't miss your chance to experience the action live with tickets from Vivid Seats, the official ticket marketplace of the Fighting Irish. Visit vividseats.com/UND today to buy and sell tickets to any event. Home games, on the road, even sold-out games, no problem. And every transaction is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats lets you see more and sit closer all season long. Support the Fighting Irish with tickets from the official ticket marketplace, Vivid Seats. Available now at vividseats.com/UND.
Join the gang at O'Rourke's Public House, located in Eddy Street Commons, directly across the street from the Notre Dame campus. With over 24 beers on draft and an extensive selection of menu items, they're sure you'll find something to your liking. Experience dining in one of the 5 different Irish-themed areas overlooking Notre Dame's beautiful campus. Whether you're catching up with an old friend, meeting or enjoying dinner with your family, O'Rourke's is the place to be. Visit them online at o'rourkespublichouse.com. Cheers to the Irish from O'Rourke's, the official home of the Mike Brey Radio Show.
We are back at the Mike Brey Radio Show. We have touched on it, so I'll throw out some numbers, not to get Coach to wince. Florida State 16-2. They are 6-1 in the league. They've not played since last Saturday, so they'll be refreshed. They've won 9 in a row. They're ranked 5th in the AP poll, 6th in the coaches poll. They're 10-0 at home. On the road, they've beaten Purdue, Florida, Louisville, and they just won at Miami last Saturday in overtime. Now, Miami is shorthanded and struggling. So they're not invincible, but they're really, really good. They're third, the number 3 offense, 75.5 points per game, second in field goal percentage. This surprised me. They're the number 1 free throw shooting team in the ACC and number 1 in steals.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really solid, and you know Leonard Hamilton has been on a roll with them lately with big, physical, athletic guys that can really guard you and will run through passing lanes. We got to take care of the basketball. And then we got to keep them off the foul line. We can't foul because they are a good free throw shooting team. And then it gets down to, again, those battles in the paint. Can we keep it to one and done and them not get up over our backs and play volleyball on the backboard? I thought we gave up some key offensive rebounds last night that really hurt us. And, you know, when we won at Syracuse, when we won at Georgia Tech, we controlled the backboard enough to win the game. We're going to have to do that.
Now, you have to deal with this all the time, but most teams play about 8. They play 10 double-figure minutes. So is that something you've got to manage as well?
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're going to keep rotating guys in, and they're able to maybe stay fresher. That's kind of how he's played, and he's really rare in that sense. There's not a lot of people playing 10 guys, you know, especially now as you get into February. It's the 7 and 8 man rotations. Maybe a 9th guy gets in for the most part. He may go to 11, but you know we have our 7 or 8 depending on what's going on that night, and they're all going to play. We got to play some zone. Zone takes a little bit of the physical wear and tear off of us, you know, and so we will play zone. Sometimes we get to a zone and we play it the whole game. You know, because it's especially on the road.
Yep.
And so we will get to it early and see which way the wind's blowing.
Well, one thing's for sure. I bet it comes down to game.
It will be game situations,
folks.
Thank you.
A night game Saturday in Tallahassee, 8:00 tip-off. You can hear it on these stations. Pre-game show, 7:40 Saturday night. Coach, thank you. Nate Laszewski, thank you. Thanks to the great crew we have here, and thanks most of all to all the fans who showed up and who watch and listen all across the country. Good night, everybody, and go Irish.
The Mike Brey Radio Show at O'Rourke's Public House was presented by the experts at TireRack.com and is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Under Armour, Gatorade, Cannon, by Vivid Seats, St. Joseph Health System, South Bend Orthopedics, by West Bend Insurance, First Source Bank, by IBEW, and by Papa John's.